My so-called life is sponsored by I'm one of those people who grew up watching television. Because of my affiliation and associations, I watched a lot of black and white films. More to the point, I loved watching Sherlock Holmes and anything from that era. Recently, I've discovered the magic of Tweed and haven't looked back. At first, I made an army of funky coats and pants and things that matched the drapes because I was literally making clothes from drapes. But recently, I've been making complete outfits and I've stumbled upon Victorian era clothing, or my interpretation of it. I've always say that I'm falling in love with something, but in this case, I am entering my tweed era. I am ready to add this to the house of sewing, and this is something that I'm here for. This is what I love to do, and I am going to continue making Sherlock style, Dr. Watson style coats. So, last week, I went to Las Vegas on Black Friday. I went shopping and found all kinds of crazy deals. Contrary to what people are saying, there were tons of people out. At least where I was, every store was packed, every Walmart, everywhere was wall-to-wall people. So when I walked into the Goodwill, I was shocked to find this Pfaff. There were many other people looking for sewing machines. I've come to recognize these people and they've come to recognize me. So when I walked in and saw this Pfaff, I immediately grabbed it and was kind of shocked because I knew that I was going to get this machine for half off. I basically paid $10 for this machine. I've completely brought it back to life. It was rusty, it was seized. This sewing machine has a story, but I brought it back to life. And like I always say, instead of talking about it, let's go check it out. So, moment of truth. This Pfaff 207 definitely needed some love, but after much work, let's see if it fires. Oh, that is perfect. Even without me holding it, it goes in a straight line, and that is through some extremely chunky tweed. I'm sitting at my desk, so I did not lose my scissors like I normally would. That laid down the perfect stitch. I don't know if you can see it because this tweed is multicolored, but I am definitely calling this a victory here in the House of Sewing. And welcome to the fleet, kid. So the first coat that I made, I had this crazy idea of adding a cape on a coat. It's something that I've done before, but it's been a few years. I loved how the coat came out, but something was missing. So I decided to grab my patterns and I made a vest. And then from the vest, I made a pair of pants and the outfit was born. It was something that I wasn't necessarily ready for because the second I put it on, I was transported to Baker Street. I love the look, the feel, and this is definitely a victory here in the House of Sewing. So, with my second coat, I was inspired by the television show Maud. I know this turned into something that looks like it's from the Victorian era, but I've been watching a lot of 1970s television, and it is hilarious how many people are wearing capes. It was the cape era. I love how dramatic they look. I love the flow and the feel. This is something that I am definitely incorporating into the house of sewing. This is something that, once again, the second I put it on, it took me to a different time. I completely fell in love with this, and I am definitely going to continue down this road. Rarely, rarely a boring day here in the House of Sewing. So, if you've made it this far, I absolutely thank you. And like I always say, reinforce your seams, be yourself, and I will definitely see you next time.